When the Spyfall, we will be fooled. I will be bored and face this shit show together. Hey, it's your boy, Bolstrek. I was channel surfing tonight and come across a new show called Doctor Who. It's mad. There's aliens, CGI, women. A new up-and-coming actor, Tosin Cole, makes a fantastic new Doctor. So I guess I find myself here doing a very quick, impromptu review, which is not my style. I don't know whether it was the fact that there were things to care about again, actual emotions this episode inspired, which is a step up from last year. My god, what a fun bit of TV. From the first cinematic action scene, things are different this year. Paced well, quick, dynamic, engaging. As long as they didn't sink all their money into the New Year's Day special, I think this bodes great for the next series. So intensely more watchable and enjoyable than most of Series 11. I found that Chibnall's last run suffered from a general lack of aboutism. Just going through the motions. Everything is there, told in the correct order, but it's a lot more superficial and empty than before. Companion joke, doctor anecdote. Bad guy monster monologue. You kind of could tell the beats as they were coming. And yeah, it still remains to be seen if Spyfall will stick the landing, the aeroplane, and the narrative. But everything looks so crisp, I'm actually engaged with these characters, and when they have fun little cute character moments together, I'm just saying, Ryan and Graham will be my new highlights going forward. But the standout for me were actually the ladies. Yaz finally had the camera focused on her for enough of the episode to get in an emotional moments, and the Doctor just seems a lot more lovable here, like the 13th Doctor I've been reading in the comics and the books. Much less awkward, and a lot of unique dialogue in this episode, like just inflections and delivery that I wouldn't have gotten from previous Doctors. I'm a very hard person to get rid of. Are you? Beautiful. Can I take a nose round your gaff? I love it, even if cosmetic. It doesn't feel like a pale imitation of previous series, and considering how fresh some of it feels, it just makes the stuff that's recycled stand out. But that's what we have, I guess, the next 9 weeks ahead of us to find out. Boom, let's talk about the episode. As a homage goes, the spy stuff was pretty good. Didn't slap you across the face, and only playfully tweaked it once or twice. The setup of where every companion is now, the mission briefing, the mystery to get to the bottom of, it's perfect for part 1 stuff, and even if the second part actually kinda ditches this veneer, I feel pretty satisfied. We've done Victorian Ghost Story, we've done Murder Mystery. Why not go Jane Bond? Sorry Enemy of the World, we do love you really. John Pertwee did the spy trope so you didn't have to. It's a pretty natural fit, as Doctor Who is pretty amorphous, genre-wise. Yeah, it's sci-fi fantasy, but only technically. And even then, only on weekends. Although, what a waste of Stephen Fry. My Doctor Who, dude, like, you've had bigger actors on the show before. You've had bigger gets. You really spent Stephen Fry in the Doctor Who universe in the first 10 minutes? That's a damn shame. And although I loved all the action beats, I followed the plotting. For once, I didn't just wonder, wow, where did that scene go? Oh, the episode's over? How did we get here? There was much less of that, which is very impressive for a Chibnall script. But I see a lot more of the Torchwood than the Series 11. Although, as ever, we know that Chibnall is perfectly willing to make up shit as he goes along. Broadchurch captivated the entire nation, and there wasn't even a properly planned, solid answer as to who did the killing. Just willing to change it in case the tabloids or the Radio Times caught up with them. And yeah, the lack of creative integrity aside, I think this is where this final twist has come from. Chibbers is a very viewing figures aware showrunner. And it's here that we can get into that ending. I'm a fully grown man at this point, nothing really inspires massive freakouts when it comes to twists. But this one? Kinda stinky. Bad twist! Somehow, I've disengaged with this episode that I was really into immediately. You kinda just lost me there and then. O is apparently the master. I thought it was pretty obvious there was something shady going on with him, but to that extent, really? I've gone back, I've scrubbed through his scenes, and there is no hint in the whole story about him possibly being the master. It's a bit of a cheat, in many respects actually, especially a very old school pantomime kind of master. For the record, the last master story was in 2017, but that sounds a lot longer ago than it actually is, especially as last time we saw this character, 2 versions were wrapped up. Chibnall has so much explaining to do to justify how they're back to this Moriarty routine. I hate this scene. I was momentarily stunned by it, but more so out of stupidity. Actor Sacha Dhawan sells the shit out of it. Such a good visual switch to manic, angry master. He's Jim Moriarty, he's Delgado, he's John Sim. It's a very familiar kind of performance, going off of 45 seconds of course, but it is undeniably fun to watch. It's more the fact of the reveal itself feels like something just to bring in the ratings without much thought given to how this actually affects the show. It feels very much like a twist plucked out of a hat for someone who hasn't watched the show since maybe Tennant. Oh, and it's the drum beat. Great, that was 10 years ago. And every single person on the feed, I think, has uniform opinions on this. Wow, way to shit on the entire Capaldi era with one twist reveal. I don't want to be a stingy canon head, but there's a point where you just have to look at what happened 2 series ago and then wonder who is at the wheel. I actually could have predicted this. I always felt like the Moffat era specifically was gonna get retconned in some sort of manner going forward, because it made a lot of pretty bold experimental choices and brought a level of finality to a lot of characters. I made a video called 5 Doctor Who villains who should never return, and guess who was number 1? Sorry Michelle Gomez, your entire character arc was just reneged. Get out of here. I'm still holding out a little bit hope that it's a fake out or maybe an earlier incarnation. But if the drum beat's there, it doesn't make much sense. And it also just seems incredibly unlikely. So now that we know we're getting, at the very least, Cybermen, Daleks and the Master in one series, I hope some people, even if you did enjoy the episode like me, can see just how artificial the show running is. People didn't like this, so we'll just do the exact opposite thing and hope more people do. Moffat and Davis weren't known for throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck. I also see you baiting all the lesbians with Yaz and 13 in dinner jackets. But at the same time, I bet those fans also feel cheated of not seeing 13 and Missy together. If you really, had to do a master story in 2020, man. John Sim is still kicking. He's about. You cast Lenny Henry, and you didn't make him the master. Also, just bizarre hat upon bizarre hat for this, really. But outside of, come on, a minute max of episode, it's a great story here. I'm intrigued, I'm seeing new visuals I've not seen in Doctor Who, which is all I can ask for. The companions are being put to really good use, and I'm really starting to get invested in these characters. Maybe the shock that the 13th Doctor isn't some vibrant, brand new personality unlike no other, now that's sort of faded away a bit. I'm starting to accept her. I'm open to loving her. And I think for all of the main cast, it's looking pretty damn good. I wasn't excited for this episode one bit, and now I find myself wanting to talk about Doctor Who again. And not just the obscure stuff from the 2000s on an audio play by Nick Briggs. Actual Who that has the potential to be event television again. Stuff that your dad would watch. But at the same time, let's not punish people who actually watched the Moffat years, okay? There's nothing like some good old-fashioned backwards character developments. If you liked this, let me know, and I'll catch you next Sunday.